Today, we're going to talk about a digital detox and what that might look like, what it means, what it could look like for you, and yeah, some methods of how we go about doing it. And then I'll ask some questions later on. All right, let's get. Can you guys see this? Yeah, okay. Okey doke. So, what might you think a digital detox is? If you guys want to put it in the chat. When you think about like that phrasing together, what comes to mind? Could mean a few different things, could be pretty straightforward or staying away from social media, not technology for a certain amount of time. Okay, yeah. Thank you for answering. Anybody else want to take a crack at it?
So detox usually means like cleansing yourself from something that you've become accustomed to or something that's affected you or anything.
Yeah,
So or like has something that has consumed you. So digital detox would be taking the time to remove yourself from anything like digital or the internet. So it would be like instead of being on your phone or being on your computer, you would take the time to detox, to be outside or
mhm.
try different activities that you don't need like your laptop or the internet for.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you. Um, so you hit the nail on the head. It's when a person goes through a period of it could be short, it could be long, it could be however you need it to be for yourself to just kind of refrain, maybe abstain from technology for a certain amount of time. Um, and the goal of it is to really reduce the amount of stress that we have and that is caused maybe by technology inadvertently or maybe advertently, so that we can be like more grounded and connect with our surroundings, connect with people better. Um, yeah. And so, why might you want to go through a digital detox? So, I know, especially during COVID, when the lockdown was fresh and everybody was in their um, at home and limited in the people they could see, a lot of people turned to being online um, for a lot of time of the day. Um, I know, personally speaking, those first couple of months, I was spending way, 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 way too much time on my phone, like hours upon hours. And like when I would go to bed, it was like I was still awake, if that makes sense. Like I was tired, but I was like still awake because like my brain was like so on from receiving all that blue light throughout 12 hours of the day or 10 hours of the day. Um, and so we just got accustomed to using our phones a lot. And when we're connected online on our screens, we might feel very disconnected from other people, if that makes sense. Even though we're interacting with other people online, we're seeing, stuff that people are posting. We might be catching up with friends from high school or any other point or a job or whatever it may be. And we just want to feel more grounded in sort of this um, like corporeal, like very physical world that's not wholly online, right? Um, and unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, we've progressed so far um, to the point where like we can't do life without a cell phone. So I'm not saying to become like a luddite and have no technology, right? I'm just saying, if you go through a digital detox, you can kind of start to notice things about yourself and about your surroundings that maybe you were too involved with your phone to, or just technology in general to keep up with, and that causes a lot of stress. Um, it can cause strain on relationships. It can, cause stress in jobs or in school or in work. So it's very important to have like a real balance when it comes to technology, right? Speaking from a research perspective, um, there has been numerous case studies research saying um, a fifth of U.S. adults, which is 18% of people, say technology alone is just a source of stress. And because of this connectedness, while it's a beautiful thing, we oftentimes feel like we have to be like quote unquote on call for other people. Like if someone texts you back in the day, they would call you, and if you weren't home, it would go to your answering machine and you could call them back when you had a chance or when you got home. But now it's like if you get a call and you don't answer, it's like, oh, why didn't you pick up? I know you have your phone on you. So it can kind of lead to this kind of like murky water situation of like where you just want time for yourself. But we, yeah. And as I said earlier, um, more anecdotally, but this actually comes from a research paper I read that said that the type of blue light that phones emit activates certain cells behind your eyes that decrease the amount of melatonin that your body not secretes, but like that your body like induces so that you can go to sleep. um, and they were even saying in this paper that when you have your phone close to you and like the notifications are going off on like throughout your sleep cycle, um, and like your phone buzzes and stuff, it can actually like your eyes can still pick it up. Um, and as we all know, with lack of sleep, it's not really conducive to a lot of things, especially school, which can lead to a lot of stress and depression and anxiety and a whole slew of things that just snowballs, if that makes sense. Um, yeah, so I just said this. Um, so I know this is something I want to ask you guys. So how many, and you can respond if you want or don't want, but I know for myself, um, it can be like when I'm having trouble sleeping, I'm like, oh, well, I was on my phone in bed for like 2 hours before I went to bed. But I just wanted to take like a very informal poll. How many of you guys are like on your phones when you're in bed versus doing something else like reading or just meditating or doing anything else? And you can just put it in the chat. Bed mostly. Yeah. Rarely. Wow. Never. Wow, that's good. Mostly, yeah, I feel that. Haven't been since 2018. Wow, nice. Half and half. Yeah. I okay, Khadijah. Yeah, I was wondering. Um yeah, so when we're doing this, it we might not think we're, doing anything wrong, but like the results of these uh, research papers that I read in preparation for this um, said that using social media or even just reading or doing anything involving that blue light increases the likelihood of um, anxiety, insomnia, and shorter sleep duration. Um, and it can, I'm, I'm sure people are aware how it can negatively affect our mental health, um, because we oftentimes unknowingly um, compare ourselves with other people. Could be influencers, could be people who are, you know, quote unquote more successful than us, or it could just be anything. You know, um, and what we have to remember, I kind of want to link this into like self care and being a part of like a digital detox thing, is that we're enough. We're on our own um, journey, right? We're on our own um, path in life. We have our own things going on, positive, negative, indifferent, um, and so I'm not saying social media is bad, but I'm just saying that the 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 amount at which people can use it can be detrimental, um, and definitely limiting it has shown. There's a study that they did in Sweden, um, that they did. They had young teens from like 14 to 19 uh, go without their phones, and they said that they felt like more connected to other people around them. They didn't feel like this sense of FOMO, which leads into my next thing. Um, Fear of missing out is a very real thing that people can experience. Like everybody, like whether it's a concert you want to go to, whether it's like a movie, or any event that you're not able to attend and your friends are able to attend, or um, so this constant connectivity can really like feed this sort of fear that we have of missing out, right? um, and it kind of goes back to self-care, where we're like, we have to remember that everyone is an individual, everyone is having their own thing going on in life, and that we can't really compare ourselves, and we can't really measure up to these expectations that maybe other people have. um, um, but constantly checking your phone out of fear that you might miss something, miss a text. I know, like if am feeling like especially anxious, I'll definitely keep checking my phone, waiting for a text or something, and it's just like, what am I doing that for, right? It's like, um, it's not helpful, right? Um, so here's some signs you might want to do a digital detox. You might feel anxious or stressed out if you can't find your phone. I know, like, that's the first thing I do when I check that when I leave the house. I'm like, oh crap, I left my phone, right? And I'm like completely disconnected, and I instantly go back to the 19th century. But really, that's not the reality. We're just not as connected as we are used to being, right? Or you might feel depressed or anxious or angry after spending some time on social media. Um, you might miss out on something if you don't keep checking it. Um, and you find yourself staying up late or getting up early to be on your phone. I know it's very easy to have the hours pass as you're on your phone. And you're like, oh wow, it's 11 o'clock at night, and my eyes are burning because I've been staring at a screen 5 inches from my face. Um, but it's a it's a form of self care, a digital detox. So now, how do we get started? Right? Here's the real thing. So when you're if you feel like this is right for you, um, you want to start by having a goal of how long you want to be off your phone for, or technology, or in general, and have a smart goal of how you can achieve that, right? So smart goals are, let me see if I can remember it, but so it's important to start small, because all change that happens gradually is more sustainable um, than change that you institute overnight, right? Because when we feel like we need to change something immediately, we oftentimes feel specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Yes, that's a smart goal. Um, so when we can start small, it is easier. I don't know about easier, but it is more attainable, right? It is you're more likely to stick with it if you are keeping it within your everyday routine, right? So a smart goal for a digital detox, I want to spend 2 hours on my phone max a day. If you can, if you're able to do that, unless it's for work or um, for school or something. I am going to keep tracking it with a journal. I'm going to um, keep track of it with a calendar, any sort of tracking. Um, and is it attainable? Do you see yourself going through this fully? Like, is it something I would like to complete um, in a couple of weeks? Is it realistic? Am I spending 10 hours on my phone now and I want to spend only 1 hour on my phone? That's um, that's not as realistic, right? But if you can curb it to 8 or 6 hours, that's great, right? Um, and then timely, you want to have a specific time frame that you would like to institute it in, and then you can, by doing that, you can turn off notifications for certain apps. If you notice that you're spending too much time on a single app, you can delete it and maybe just access the browser version of it. Um, you can leave your phone behind. So something that works for me. Um, so like if I were to go hiking, I would like to leave my phone in like a bag that I'm carrying and not like on my person fully, so that I'm not always, checking it, right? And make yourself accountable. Um, like if you feel like you're not kind of sticking by your goal, it is more than okay to adjust it, right? But if you give it only one try, um, that's okay too. But you would want to give it repeat tries so that you are able to get this um, get this goal going, right? Another way is that you can not wake up to your phone. Maybe switch to a more um, like an actual digital alarm clock or analog alarm clock, so that maybe you're not using your phone as an alarm clock. Um, Maybe put your phone on the other side of the room so it's not right next to your bed. Like first thing you wake up and you check your socials, and then plan tech-free activities. Um, if you get together with a group of friends or your family or classmates or coworkers or whoever, um, you can lay out a blanket rule starting that, like at the start of the get together, hey, let's not be on our phones this time. Um, let's, put them in the other room, or let's just keep them in our pockets, or put them on do not disturb or something. Um, and then you're really able to get connected with other people without this sort of barrier between you, right? Because it might not seem like a barrier, but if you're having a conversation with someone and you're on your phone or they're on your phone, you're not getting and they're not getting your full attention. So it kind of leads to this kind of like uneasiness where like their attention or your attention is elsewhere. And it's not it's not like helpful, right? I know for me, that's like a rule, not a rule, but like something that I have with my friends. Like I'm just like I don't leave my phone in the car, but like I just leave it in the other room, and we end up having more fun together. But I want to loop back to self care, because essentially that's what is at the heart of digital detox, is that we are trying to be more centered with ourselves, with other people, and our technology can often be an it can be a creative outlet for people. It can be a very positive outlet for people, but it can also kind of take away our time from other people, if that makes sense. Um, so, if you want to institute it, I would be very. It would. Okay. Oh, here we go. Oh, I just said that. But getting back to self care, um, I believe a very good analog version of spending time just by yourself or with other people and kind of keeping track of that is to keep a journal. Um, might not, it could be on your phone, but that kind of defeats the purpose. But just a regular old piece of paper, notebook or anything, and you will be very surprised um, at how you feel afterwards. Um, so I definitely challenge people in this session to um, go through a digital detox for however long you would like to, um, and just see how you feel at the end of it. Try it for a week, try it for a few days, try it for a month, and just see how you feel. If it's if it's advantageous, or if it works within your schedule, or you know but you may discover some new hobbies out of this. And if it really doesn't work at first, it's it's okay, right? We need to give ourselves grace, because a gradual change is more sustainable than a drastic one. And we want to make sure that we're not stressing ourselves by trying to de-stress, if that makes sense. Like the point of this is to um, cut some stress out of your life, right? But if you feel that it might be too much, then kind of cut it back, you know? Maybe you do a less severe digital detox and then kind of wean yourself off of it that way gradually, because we don't want to burn ourselves out because um, it's it's not helpful, right? Do what works for you, right? Find something that helps, and don't be hard on yourself if it doesn't work out right away, um, because you might be surprised how much you like it. Um, yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you guys so much. Do you have any questions? You guys can unmute if you want.
Are you able to share those slides that you shared with us?
Sure. Yeah. Let me just. Of course. Thank you so much, Khadija. Yes. You put your email in the form, right?
I did. Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. I'll send it out to everyone today.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. So don't mind me asking, but has anyone tried this before? And if they have, would you care to share um, how it worked for you? Or what worked for you or what didn't work for you?
Can I share something?
Sure. Yeah, of course.
So, yes, definitely. You mentioned about the detoxing on digital or screen, especially.
Hmm.
So, yes, after 6 p.m., like or 7 p.m. when I got home, I'm not touching my phone. I'm busy with all, other stuff.
Hmm.
As maybe most of you guys know, I have a family and then kids and husband. Make
Hmm.
sure everybody has a food, like what's happening on daily school, like what the stuff they did during the day, and like test, quiz, normal stuff, or even manage my time by don't using, you know, um, my phone or those brainwash stuff. Just give my kids to put them another things like, for example, for my little boy, he's not good in writing, I find out. So I just told him, can you write one paragraph what happened in your school, which part was your favorite, which part you don't like it, write it down. So this way I am learning from his day, what's happened to his, things.
Yeah.
And then also he can improve his writing.
Hmm.
And while I'm washing my dishes, while I'm cooking, I'm, doing something. So it's not something extra on my schedule,
Right.
afternoon. So yes.
That's great. Yeah.
Mhm.
Makes you feel more connected with other people.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And I feel very close to my son
Yeah.
after we did it, like we are just doing it for 3 days. Like today is going to be the fourth one. So yeah, I find out so many things happening in the school and so many things he doesn't like it, so many things he really want to do it, but be afraid of it.
Mhm.
And yeah, a lot of, you're right, connection. I feel very closely to him. Yeah.
That's great.
Mhm.